Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. In this continued effort to change up the channel, I continue to bring on other traders that most of my followers do request for me to bring them on in order to discuss what's going on in the market. And let's please welcome today's guest that goes by the name Davinci, which I'm not even sure if that's your real name, man. Is it really?
Yes, it is my real name. Actually, my full real name is Leonardo Davinci Stephen Jeremy.
Really? Wow. So your parents really like that?
Yeah, the painter.
Davinci, huh?
Yeah, they did. They thought it would be funny, right? Because they were drunk, and they thought, well, you know what? Wouldn't it be funny if we named him Leonardo da Vinci? And yeah, well, here I am, Leonardo da Vinci.
There's really, you know what? There's really absolutely no laws and regulations on what you can name your kids. So you can literally name your kid anything, like the craziest thing in the world, and it's kind of
like
awesome.
Orange.
Exactly. Or Apple. I think who was that? One of the actresses did that. So that's great. That's a good thing, actually. Not that I want laws and regulations on what to name your kids. All right. So let's we're gonna stick with the usual format. I'm gonna let you talk about yourself, and I'm gonna do screen share. I have your sites pulled up, your Twitter, your website, your YouTube channel, and so describe yourself and start off with how, because this is a trading channel. Start off with how you learned trading, and if it was pre your life in crypto, and then how you got into crypto as well. So floor is yours, Davinci. Go for it. Give us some background.
Well, I wouldn't consider my channel a trading channel. I'm just like a hard money.
My channel is a trading channel.
Yeah, your channel.
Yeah, that's why we're focusing on trading. That's what I meant.
Yes. And I do trading with focus on trading with other channels like Crypto. He wants to hear the trading stuff, right? And I don't. I just want to talk about like the general overview of what's going on. The reason why is, well, honestly, trading is just a means to an end for me, and it's not my main forte as per se, because like I like to talk about our financial system, how it screws people over. And also, basically, I'm a software developer. I've been a software developer since I was a little kid. I had a VIC-20. I started off with a VIC-20. Now, a VIC-20 had like 5K RAM, and 3 of it was used by the operating system. So I only had 2K. So can you imagine programming under that? That's insane. I mean, an email would wipe it out today, right? It's just like nothing. And so I've been a programmer for like all my life, and I started understanding the monetary system around 2008 when a congressman said, "Hey, our financial system is unfair. It transfers wealth from the poor and the middle class to the rich." And I was like, "What?" Because nobody disputed that, right? And so I realized I didn't understand what money was. And that's when I started my journey to understand what money was. Started a YouTube channel because of that, because I felt, wow, nobody knows this stuff. I need to start talking about it, even though I suck at explaining things, and I didn't want to be in the limelight. I felt I had to, because nobody knows, right? And so with my YouTube channel, that's how I also got into Bitcoin. Somebody's pointed out, "Hey, what do you think about Bitcoin?" I'm like, scam. You can't solve the double spend problem. It's a computer science. It's a known computer science issue that no one's been able to solve. And I told the guy, I'm going to read the source code and show you how it's a scam. When I read the source code, I was like, oh, darn, it's not a scam. And that was when the price was $1. I was like, no way. We're at the bottom. And so I told people, hey, every once in a while something comes along, right, that you can buy for really, really cheap, that you're going to regret not buying it later on. And this is it.
So So when did you start buying Bitcoin, if that's not a secret?
I started buying in March of 2011. I remember how hard it was for me. I didn't quite trust MT Gox at that time, and so I wasn't about to transfer 20K, even though I could, to their site to buy Bitcoins. And so I was just buying it on the street, whoever was willing to sell it to me.
Okay, so let's get into your trading background. You said trading is just a side thing. How did you learn it? When? And when and how did you learn trading?
Well, I decided to learn trading because I started to do sort of like a hedge fund kind of thing called Collecta. I've closed it down, but what it was is basically I was trying to manage cryptos, a basket of cryptos for people, and then I thought, okay, you know what? Just buying and holding is not the greatest investment way to invest. I need to learn how to trade in order to improve people's performance on these cryptos. And so I decided to take a course on trading, and after the course, I was just destroying the market. I mean, I put in a small amount of money, and I tripled my money in 3 months. I was like,
So
what?
when was that? When was that, Davinci?
But that was in 2015 was when I started.
Okay.
And then you can't really tell people, hey, invest with me because I'm going to triple your money, because people will go, yeah, whatever. If you could do that, you'll do it yourself. And so that's what I did. I just did my own trading, and I traded up to like $10 million before I was like, okay, that's enough. Sell.
Okay, so what kind of trading style do you implement? Is it swing trading? Is it position trading? Is it scalping? Like, what's your time frame? And we're gonna get into the charts in a minute, but I just want to get an idea of your trading style.
Actually, you know what? I would not call it trading. I would call it investing, a method of investing, because the results are what I was doing with the cryptos was I was finding when the bottom was, and I'd buy the bottom and then sell half on a double. And my outlook for example, when I get out of the trade is basically zero. So if it went to zero, it went to zero. So effectively, I would not put in more than 1 or 2% in any one particular asset, probably even less half the time, like 0.5% or something like that. And whenever they doubled, I'd just sell half, and then most of the time they'd come back down. For example, one of my biggest trades would believe it or not went to zero, which is Titcoin.
Okay, tell us about that. Why did you think that was a good investment? Because of its fundamentals or because of its technicals?
Just because of technicals, because I knew people were going to buy it, and I knew people were going to just run this thing up and talk about how great it is, even though it's going to zero. And so,
but you realized you just described fundamentals, not technicals, right? If you have a feeling that some shitcoin is going to get bought up, that has nothing to do with technical analysis, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I knew that all of these shitcoins are going to do that, right? Because you see them on the chart. They do that all the way through, right? They go up and then they come back down. They go back up, they come back down, and they go up like 10x, 100x. So why not get some money out of the market on those things, right? Even though they're going to ultimately go to zero, you can easily, like, every time it doubles, just sell half. And when it comes back down, you put a little bit more back into it, and then it doubles again, and you make a killing out of these things, because they go like 10x, like it was nothing. And I'm like, whatever, they don't deserve that.
Let me not like it is nothing, like it was nothing, right? Because so there's a couple of things that you said. So I want to go back to, you read the white paper, you thought Bitcoin was a scam, then you realized that it wasn't, and Bitcoin is actually something amazing and innovative and solved the double spend problem. What is your overall opinion of the altcoin space, the Litecoin, the Monero, the Ethereum? Do you see them as scams like you did Bitcoin the first time, or do you actually see long-term, long-term thriveness of anything in the top 100 besides Bitcoin?
what I see is that they're test cases for Bitcoin, so Bitcoin can improve itself. So every single coin that tries to come out with some new cool idea, an innovative idea, they're basically just testing out their theories so that Bitcoin could incorporate it later on.
Are you able to name any of these innovative ideas that an altcoin has been able to achieve?
Well, I mean, like the zero knowledge proofs is never existed before until we came up with Bitcoin, right? And so a lot of the technologies that we come up with, for example, Wimble, that's only existed because Bitcoin existed. And so, and you don't want to put that in Bitcoin because it's.
I would just say, right. Okay. Ooh, repeat that again. You don't want to put that in Bitcoin because
you don't know if it's going to work.
Well, the Wimble code isn't going to work, or the consensus.
You don't know at this point if it's solid. So you have to put it in the wild. It has to be tested against hackers and people trying to use it before it could go into Bitcoin Core.
Okay, well, Wimble is never going into Bitcoin Core. That's
probably not.
No, not for that reason. It's not going into Bitcoin Core because it's not a good encryption technology. It's not going into Bitcoin Core because you have to hard fork the Bitcoin code in order to get Wimble in. And people that don't understand why you can't hard fork Bitcoin end up, shilling Bcash and then Bcash Part 2 and then Wimble coins themselves, like Bean and Grin. And same thing with Monero, right? Same thing with Zcash. The problem with those coins is that their code is not backwards compatible. Like it's great. Hey, I found a new way to encrypt data. What do I do with it? It's an interesting thing in computer science. But unless it's backwards compatible with Bitcoin, the only thing it can be is a shitcoin that eventually dies. It's not about whether the code is good or bad. It's about the reality of the situation of not being able to get everyone to upgrade the Bitcoin code. Do you disagree with what I just said?
Well, you know what? It is difficult at this point to get everybody to upgrade, but the governments can make it very easy for us to upgrade if they decide to destroy the fungibility of Bitcoin, which they've already started to do. So unless if the fungibility gets destroyed, meaning fungibility, so let me just define that, is basically if all Bitcoins are basically equal. I mean, there's no difference between one Bitcoin and another, right? And so they're fungible. So one Bitcoin is equal to another Bitcoin. But if the government says, no, that Bitcoin is bad, and if you mix that with any other Bitcoin, it also becomes bad, that becomes a problem and destroys the fungibility of Bitcoin, of coins on the network. And because the government can point to a coin and call it bad, they will. And that will destroy the fungibility. Now, if that becomes a huge problem, eventually we have to solve that. And the only way to solve that is by hiding how many Bitcoins, who has what Bitcoins, and how many Bitcoins are out there.
Yeah, I agree. And there are many good solutions that are already going into Bitcoin to solve this problem that do happen to be backwards compatible. Okay, so before we move on to charts, so in your, so you trade any altcoin, and all of your, do you trade anything other than crypto? Let's start there. Have you ever traded, or do you trade anything other than crypto?
Well, let me answer those because there was two questions there, right?
Well,
have I traded anything other than crypto? Yes. Do I trade anything other than crypto? Mostly not. No.
Okay. So, and within the crypto space, how far down the coin market cap do you go? Do you trade top 10, top 25, top 100, top 1,000? Well, like what is your, well, investing, I guess, right? Because you're not a short-term trader. So when you buy in, you basically wait for a doubling or zero.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sounds a little more like guesswork, no?
No, it's not guesswork. Actually, it's quite simple. I mean, like you could see that.
Oh, it's definitely, yeah, no, I see the simplicity in it.
Yeah, I mean, once you identify a coin that you want to get in, you're not the one thing you don't break. One rule you don't break is you put more than like 5%. But I don't even suggest you do that. I suggest you go no more than 2%. I think, and even less really on some of the really shitty coins out there. Like if you see another like tit coin out there, you shouldn't be more than 0.05%, right? You know what I mean? That because like you want to basically put in as much money that you're like, if it goes to zero, you're like, okay, whatever. And I remember when I started this process, the person who taught me, Brian Beamish, he was putting $2 on a coin, right? And that's the minimum he was willing to bet. And people were laughing at him, but they're not laughing now when he has $500,000, right? At the end of the day, right? So I mean, that's how simple it is, right? It's just, you wait for a double, and yeah, a lot of them are going to go off the board, but who cares? As long as it's not enough to hurt you, right? That you're like, okay, whatever, right? They're laughing because there's going to be ones that do 100x.
All right, so you know what? I usually do my own screen share and talk about the price of Bitcoin, but this is going to be more interesting. Can you do your screen share first? Are you able to pull up like the list on CoinMarketCap or an equivalent site and walk us through some of the coins that you went into this year in order to look for that doubling and how those worked out?
Well, I didn't do much of that this year, honestly, because once I got to the top, I pretty much started building my software because I wanted to do that again at a later time. And I couldn't only do one at a time because it was either you have to keep looking on the market for when the bottom is in, and then constantly buy in. So I did do a little bit, but not a lot. I wanted to do a lot more, but of course, I'm a software developer and I wanted to build the software. But I can show you some of the older trades.
No, it's okay. No, I'd rather look at the current ones. I mean, like we know the older trades are easy, right? In 2017, you can pick any shitcoin and it would not only double, but it would go 100x in a matter of weeks. But that entire like trading strategy would have died in 2018 and 2019 because everything's been going down. And everything went down in 2018, and in 2019, Bitcoin outperformed pretty much everybody except Binance token, maybe, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, there was some winners. Like for example, the people I taught this strategy, they did well up until April, and then April everything just went collapse down.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but like, how much teaching goes on into buying a shitcoin and waiting for it to double or go to zero? Like, I'm really curious how intensively grueling these education classes are.
It's not that intensive. Here's the thing. I know from your point of view, it seems like how intense is that? But you have to understand people are coming in from not even understanding what a candlestick chart is, right? So I show them what that is. I show them how to set up the coinage, how to set up the software, how to connect it all together, how to connect to the exchanges, all that. And then the hardest part, the most hardest part is figuring out when to buy. After that, it's just, once you figure that out, then it's like you just sit and wait for a double. Then it's like easy peasy.
All right. Why don't you go to your charts and enlighten us with this wisdom of what you're thinking in the current environment. And then we'll briefly mention the software that you're now building, which I believe allows you to hold on to your own shitcoins with your own private key while still able to trade them. Okay, but let's do the charts. I just want to see your charts. What do you think of Bitcoin and any altcoins you want to pull up, and we'll take a look at your.
Yeah, let's start with Bitcoin. Hang on a second. Let me just hit share, and I'm going to bring up the Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the bigger picture of Bitcoin here, right? As you can see, right, Bitcoin has come off, and then it's taken this huge rally that you're wondering, what the hell happened here? Like Bitcoin just went straight up.
Right. Do you have an explanation for that? Like, what is your best thinking and best reasoning as to why Bitcoin did that?
Well, I think my best estimate is because The new money that's coming in is the real money, people with larger sums of money. And you have to understand something about Bitcoin is the one asset that class where they can't create more. There isn't somebody out there creating more Bitcoin. So for example, if they wanted to, if the bears wanted to like, okay, listen, let's talk to the miners and get them to like, ramp up production so we can dump it down. They can't. There's always going to be like, right now, 12.5 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. That works out to 75 every hour and 1,800 every day. There's nothing you can do. It's fixed and it's only going down. So once you realize that, you just have to figure out, okay, who's going to be selling and when they're going to be selling. And then you're just trying to get them to sell to you so that you can get a hold of this. And the market, well, basically it only moves itself to where it's going to be able to do business. It's not rocket science. If there's people want to buy this and they can't buy it low, they're going to move the price higher. And that's all they can do. That's all you're ever going to be able to do with Bitcoins. You can't increase the production. Eventually there will be nothing that you can buy from the mining operations because that's it. There will be no production. So with that understanding, I think a lot of big money understands this and they're getting into this. That is my best guess, and that's all it is, a guess. It can be anything but I think that's most likely it.
Okay, so what are you thinking now? These are weekly candles.
Well, I think we're going for a big dump all the way down to at least to the 7,200. That's what I'm thinking, only because of this personally because of this technical pattern here. We can see that we're triangling out now. This is going to break.
So what is that technical pattern that you're looking at?
Right, you can see it here that we've got a little bit of a triangle happening here, right? So I'll draw this out all the way here, right? You can see a little bit of a triangle happening. So this thing's got to break up or down, and I've seen this so many times in Bitcoin. When it does this, it usually goes down. I haven't seen it go up ever. Right.
I wouldn't say ever, but I generally agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say ever, but most of the time it just breaks down, right? And so although I would love to see it break up, I'd love to see them say, "This is Bitcoin," and go higher. That's just not probable, right? And we have to trade with probabilities, and that's not probable. Right?
Yep. So all right. So from a weekly perspective, you think we're going down. You want to flip to the daily chart, or you want to talk more about the weekly scale?
This is the daily chart right now.
You're back. Oh, I'm sorry. You did flip to the daily chart. My bad. I was looking at the.
And so this is a trade I'm looking at here to see if I can get in. Basically, it's called a bot trade. Basically, where you're doing a continuation of a downtrend. And so what you're looking for after this AB, you're looking for it's a bastardization of AB equals CD. You don't do it you don't use the AB equals CD like this. You use it as a point to go the opposite direction. But anyways, basically what I'm looking for is 3.3 upward points, top points, to give me like a way to protect my trade. And so here's like one. If I go down to a shorter time frame, well, I could probably see them a lot better, right? So here's one top point that I'm looking for. Here's one top, right? Hang on, I got to get rid of the magnet, right here. This, unfortunately, this is a new top. I was counting this one, but as soon as we broke, I had to start my count over again, right? And so this has to be counted as a top. And then I'm waiting for another top that's not higher than this top. And then I can get into the trade when it rolls over. So I'm looking for that right now. And then the trade is basically like this. I'm going to go short on the 25% mark, and I'm going to come all the way down to the end of this AB equals CD pattern, which will give me a risk reward ratio of approximately 3 to 1.
Okay, and what kind of leverage do you like to use on those?
Well, it all depends on how much I'm willing to lose. For example, normally the maximum I'm willing to lose is like $2,000. So maybe
about 3 to 1 then.
Just at the percentage. Because people are going to go out there and lose that kind of money. Really, you should be whatever you're willing to lose, right? And so it should be like, if you're willing to lose $100 or $50, that's what it should be, right? And so you should trade according to how much you're willing to lose, right? And so I'm looking at this trade, and once it fires, if it does fire, right? I mean, it might not fire. It might just, see you when I see you. That's when I'll get in.
Gotcha. Hey, I have another question looking at your chart. Can you double click in the price area to make it bigger and get rid of not that price, sorry, like in the middle of your chart, just so the indicators go away for a moment. Yep, just double click there. Perfect. You double click back there again and your oscillators will come back. I got a question on, no. You can go back to the daily, actually. It'll look better. And zoom in a little bit. I have to ask about your Fibonacci levels. I see your left Fibonacci at that recent high, and you drew it to the right side to a potential fictional point that doesn't yet exist. I would love to hear the wisdom behind that logic.
This is not Fibonacci. This is actually, it lets me know how to trade this to manage this trade. So for example, at 25% is when I get in. At what's it called? 50% is when I move my stop to trail. And at 66%, I move my stop to 50%. And then I go for the rest here.
Oh, okay, got it. So that is your cue on when to, but you have not shorted this yet. You're waiting for another high, or you're waiting for the break of the 33% line?
I'm waiting for another high, and then the break of the 25%.
Well, why didn't you do that at that last little high a few days ago? Yeah, the second yellow circle. Wouldn't that fit all of the same requirements you just described?
No, because what happened was this was the second high here, came back down, came back up.
Right.
But it went higher than this one.
Okay. So you're waiting for one more high that's higher than this recent one.
That's lower than this recent high here.
Oh, okay. You're looking for a high that's lower than that one. So it's like almost like a head and shoulders on a small time scale.
Exactly. And so once it goes and rolls over again, that's when I'll be back in. That's when I'll be in this trade. It might not work out. It might work out. Who knows?
Oh yeah, of course not. Yeah, every trade is always can and can't work out. Now, on your back in early August, did you take that short trade or no?
Or early August?
Yeah.
No, right back here.
No, I'm sorry, not early August, mid-August, I guess. That area.
Here?
Yeah. Did you take that short trade, or you were just watching the markets?
No, I was actually kind of bullish on that side there, and that's where I got creamed on that one, that trade here.
All right, and now we're gonna go to late July. Did you take on that trade? July, other way.
On which one? Right here?
No, the low. No, July. You're in August.
July.
Or late July. Yeah, there.
Right around here?
Yeah. What were you thinking there? Were you bullish there or bearish there?
I was bearish. I was neutrally. I was a little bit bearish, but as soon as it turned, I was like, okay, I should look for a trade, but I was too busy at the time. At this point, and by that time I was ready to make the trade, it was already gone. I was like, whatever.
Okay, so you set that area out.
Mm-hmm. Because once it went over to 13 EMA, I was like, oh, it went the other way. Okay, fine. I don't care. And it looks like it's going on higher. So I'm going to look for a trade, but I didn't have time.
Okay, no, that's understandable. Talking of people that don't have enough time. So what else do you use in your trading arsenal? So we can bring back the oscillators if you want to double click again. And just tell us about how you utilize moving averages, and then what else do you use in your arsenal of trading?
Okay, well, one of the things, let's move over to TradingView, and because like I have a lot of things here, and let's go over to.
Oh yeah, no, I will definitely agree with that part.
So one of the things I have is the Davo, which is firing like crazy here, and I need to like analyze that basically.
I'm not familiar with that. You have to teach me.
The Davo is quite simple. It uses the on-balance volume and looks for an M or a W, and it has to match with either the RSI or the Willie in order for it to fire. Now I have like settings here where it can where it has to be above or below the SMA and stuff like that. And I can use only the RSI, or use only the Willie, or use only the OP.
Did you build this, or somebody gave it to you?
I built it, and then somebody helped me build it, improve it right afterwards.
So this is an indicator that helps you when to buy, when to sell, based on other publicly available indicators.
Exactly. Basically, it's looking for W's here and W's here, and then I analyze whenever it fires, I analyze it, basically make sure that it is a good time to buy or sell or whatever, and then figure out whether or not to make the trade. And that's one of the tools I have here. There's the colored coin, the colored candles. Basically, that's usually used to indicate a continuation of the trade. Doesn't always work, because you know what, once it turns white, it means like it's ready to dump hard, or once it turns yellow, of course, it's ready to fire up higher. But that's not 100%. You need other indicators to help you decide to take a trade, and so that's why I use that. And then there's of course the 3 drives. I wonder if there's any example of the 3 drives here. No, I think it mostly occurs on the 1 hour, the 3 drives. Basically, there it is right there, 3 drives. 3 drives. It didn't work out here. Of course, again, like any indicator requires more information, right? It doesn't always work out, but 3 drives indicate, hey, you know what, we're pushing down, right? And you have to look at other indicators in order to make sure that this is going to go forward. And then it was about to go 3 drives up here, but it didn't quite make it. But
so that giant arrow is 3 drives. So you had 3 drives, 3 candles in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And once I purchased these indicator from somebody else who developed the 3 drives. Well, they call it the 3 musketeer, but they're basically 3 drives, I call them.
Okay. Has that been profitable in your trading? Because it looks like all of, well, I guess that first one worked out. So when does that 3 drives arrow show up? In the beginning of the candle, or at the end of the candle, or in the middle of the candle? Is there, can it show up at any point in that candle, or is it, does it have to wait till the close of candle?
You have to wait until it shows up at the beginning of the candle, right? And depending on where it closes, it continues. Is whether or not it stays on the drive continues. So basically, you can see that this 3 drives indicated, okay, well, we got some more down pressure. It doesn't always work, of course. This does not always work. No indicator always works, but it helps you make a trade to decide, okay, most people you don't want to chase. You don't want to chase markets, right? But this particular 3 drives helps you figure out if you want to continue with do a continuation trade, basically, and look for a continuation trade at a lower time frame. Right? So there's that. That's why you could use this in that sense, looking for a continuation trade to see if you can get something out of the market. Doesn't always work, so you have to be careful, and so set your stops correctly. But
okay, so whoever you bought that indicator from, did they provide like an educational video on how to use it and maybe how it's derived? No.
Yeah, I talked to them. No, I knew the guy from my classes, and he was like, in the classes we were all programmers there, so we're always doing something to come up with some kind of cool method of figuring out what the market would do. So that's what we work together on this. Oh, look at this, try that. And we'd come up with cool ideas and share it with amongst each other, basically.
All right, cool. Anything else you want to tell us about your trading? I mean, this is good insight. Anything else you use to enter your trades?
Well, I love my fibs. I love fibs, as you can see. You can see here, I've drawn in all kinds of.
No, it's actually a little hard to see. You got to zoom in.
Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in here, right? And this here, you can see these green boxes. These are the 61.8 to the 78.6 area. I call this area either a trade location or a reload zone. Basically, where the market likes to reload and rebuy and start its move back up if it's green, and red if it's red. If I put a red box, if it goes the other way, that's where people like to short. So and push the market back down.
What's the difference between the dark green candles and the light green candles?
Well, you see, this is overlapping.
No, the candles. So if you go to the August 6th, yeah, the light green, the lime candles versus deep green candles.
This is colored coins. It's just showing the push of the market. Once it turns yellow, that's when the market's really hot, right? But if it doesn't turn yellow, the market's really is in neutral zone.
And is that
once
something
it turns
you
white, it means the market's really hot, white hot down, white for white hot down, and yellow for it's like going to the moon, it's taking off. Right?
Got it. And did you develop that, or is that another
another tool developed by the developers in the class, right? And that I was in, and everybody was sharing tools like crazy.
Got it. Yeah, that definitely sounds like it. So you have Fibonacci. Okay, so what are you looking for? So now that you are in your zone, so are you literally looking for that green, the overlapping green zones of the two Fibonacci's, right? Those are two different Fibonacci zones overlapping each other?
Exactly. So this is a really difficult spot for the market to pass. If it could break through there decisively, now at this point, we could see it close below there. We could see it dump down, is what this is basically saying. But again, it has to break out of this zone because the buyers are loaded up here. Generally.
So I want to talk about that crossover between Fibonacci. So one of the Fibonacci sets looks like it's from the low on July 15th up until the high of early August. What is the other Fibonacci set that intersects that zone?
From way back when we turned to make this all-time high, this local all-time high. And so that we created this Fibonacci zone from here to here. And
got it. So it's the last
times, and we've rejected it many times. And so you can see that it's worked out. If you wanted to take a trade, look for a positive trade inside the zone every single time, practically.
Got it. So remind me again. So this is there's a lot of Fibonacci lines there. So remind me again what that zone is. Is between which two Fibonacci levels?
Okay, it's between. So right now we've got from
percentage-wise, like levels percentage-wise. I see you're using the Fibonacci from the last two upswings, but which zones? Which lines are those?
Which lines are these?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
So this one's between what the 9,800 level and the 88 is one, and then the other one is 10,300 between 10,300 and 90.
Oh no, I meant by percentage, right? So you're looking at the 62%.
Oh, and the 61.8 and the 78.6.
And the 78.6. Okay, yeah. Got it. And then if those two overlap, that is your like major support zone.
Exactly.
Okay, and then if it bounces off of it, you're bullish. If it breaks it, you're bearish.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a very strong, you can see what it's doing here. After it created this zone, you can see that it's like trying so desperately to break that.
Okay. Any other indicators you use? I see the MACD down there, and
yeah, I use that, the MACD and the RSI, just for what's it called, looking for divergences to help me go, oh, okay, the market's about to go the other way. And I should either exit my trade and with some profits, right? So that's what I use them for, basically, just to help me. And then MACD, most of the MACD is for that. The RSI is used in conjunction with the DAVO with the conjunction with the what's it called, the on balance volume, and the to create the DAVO. So I use those two, and along with the Willy. And the Willy, basically, when this goes below the 80 mark, this is called the stupid area. This is when, you know, the stupid money starts to sell if it's below the 80, and when it's above the 20 mark, that's when the stupid money begins to buy. And that's why the red line in between, above 20 is stupid area, and below the 80 is the stupid area. So that's when basically this dumb money comes in and does stupid things.
All right. What else do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about some of the altcoins that you like to double in the near future?
Yeah, let's bring up, let me see here. If I could bring up any of my old charts, I doubt it, but because a lot of them have went off the board. But it doesn't matter. I mean, every time I look at these things, I'm like, damn, that thing went to zero, but it doesn't matter because, like, I mean, I've already made the money, so who cares? So, let's see here. Let's see if this thing is still on the board.
Dope coin. Tell us about dope coin. What are the fundamentals of
another nonsense coin? But look at that. I mean, I was buying way back here.
And why were you doing that? Just thinking that dumb people will also buy it?
Exactly. And didn't they? Didn't they? I mean, come on. I mean, I didn't expect it to do that, right? And I was just, you know, making some money, doubling my money. And here I missed a couple short, but you know, I got back in. I sold because I had to, like, always be watching this, right? And so I missed a couple of sell orders, but I still sold half, sold half, sold half. I mean, that's all I did. And that's all it was to it, right? Buying back in and selling half. I mean, that was the whole thing. And most of the times I didn't end up doing anything because I didn't want to buy back in down here. I wanted to buy back really low, right? So most of the times I didn't do anything. So let's check out. I don't think I did too very well on rep. No, I didn't.
Oh no, wait, I want to go back to dope. I want to know what you're thinking about it now.
Are you kidding? Okay, let's see what it is right now. It's probably dead, isn't it?
Like after you get into one of these coins, right? Like, do you actively promote other people, like, buy into it?
No, I don't need to. Why would I do that?
Well, wouldn't that help pump the coin up?
But people buy it anyway, so why I won't need to. So
okay.
I've stopped doing. I don't even do that. If any people come to me, ask me to talk about their stupid altcoin, I don't want to, because people will buy it and they shouldn't, right? And because they don't know what to do, right? And so that's why I don't encourage people buying these things if they don't know what to do, right? So they'll just lose money, right? And I don't want them to do that.
All right. So okay, fine. Let's talk about coins that aren't dead. Let's talk about coins that you see have potential.
Okay, so Dash. I mean, I killed it on Dash. I mean, as you can see, I mean, I was like, I did all kinds of studies doing parking garages and stuff like that, trying to maximize my buy orders and stuff like that on Dash, and that did extremely well. As you can see, it sold. I sold all the red parts are where I sold, and all the green ones where I bought. And yeah, I mean, it was a good buy. Unfortunately, it fizzled out here, priced in Bitcoins, and I would think we're going to come back down to a bottom here. We're going to find a bottom here. I don't think we're ready yet on Dash. This is pretty bad. This is like horrible, really bad. But we will find a bottom sometime soon, and I will be back at it again.
Also, you're looking to buy back into Dash when it goes low enough, expecting other people to just rush in.
Exactly. And I think they will. I believe they will. Because, I mean...
Why? I'm really, really curious.
Well, because here's the two reasons, right? One, all these other altcoins, because they are decentralized currencies, and they somewhat work, right? They work very well.
Are they really decentralized? Do you really think Dash is decentralized?
I would say it's more decentralized than others, right? If on a scale of decentralization, Bitcoin would be the king, and they would be somewhere fall below that, right?
Well, right. Well, I kind of agree, but then there are people that say you're either decentralized or you're not. It's kind of like you're either pregnant or you're not.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You have like a bunch of nodes on Dash, and those nodes can decide not to follow what the programmers do at any point in time. And same with the people who own the Dash coins. They can do the same thing that you could do on Bitcoin, right? Generally, they just don't, right? Because they have a decent governance system where the nodes, the master nodes, they vote on changes to the network. So it makes it a lot easier to make changes, right? So will it work out? Only time will tell. I'm very positive on Dash. I think it will, but we need to find a bottom first, and it's not finding one yet.
Right. So I see that green dashed line there. So was that one of your bottoms you were looking for, but it broke right through it? Did you buy on that green line? That one, yeah.
I bought a long time ago, like that, right down here.
Okay, but not recently.
No.
Okay. Are you looking to buy at the next green line?
I'm looking to buy when the price. If you want to know when exactly I'm looking to buy, I would have to let's clear all this stuff out first.
Yeah, please.
Because it's a mess. And go to the weekly chart.
Perfect.
And so what I'm looking for is a W. Basically, all these people who got burned here. Do you know how many people got burned here? A lot.
Yeah, they don't like to talk about it.
A lot, okay? There's a lot of burnt people here. And then there's people here. So this price has got to go like this and then get hammered back down, and then this, and then hammered back down. And then once we see a W-ing formation happen, right? Because all these people that got burned, if this thing so much as it moves up a little bit, be like, oh my God, I'm getting out, right? And those who didn't get out, they're going to be like, oh man, I missed the boat. And then if they comes back up again, they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm getting out. And so what I'm looking for is that kind of pattern on the weekly chart. And then once I see it clearly break out from here, wherever that might be, right? Let me just draw. Did I get that line here? Okay, there we go. Breaks out from here. That's when I'm going to be interested in buying this thing.
Okay, no, that sounds like a solid plan. And you do think that Dash can do that? You think Dash has a viability into the next decade?
I think so. I think, and another thing is that in the next Bitcoin pump, that's another reason why I'm interested in these coins, is that in the next Bitcoin pump, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that everybody's going to come to their senses, they're going to watch your show and realize, hey, Tone Vays is correct. All these other coins have no value. I'm going to buy only Bitcoin. No, nobody does that. Nobody does research. If that was true, there would be nobody investing in BitConnect, right?
Oh, no, I agree. The amount of dumb people has no bounds. I just and there's nothing wrong with trading shitcoins to make more Bitcoin. I've never said there was anything wrong with that. I just want to make sure that people understand, just like there's nothing wrong with trading penny stocks to make more US dollars, as long as what bothers me are these promoters of Dash and Ripple and the rest, where they're trying to convince other people to hold these things for the long term. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a trader trying to maximize their net worth by trading the biggest scams there are. I wouldn't have even had a problem with anyone trading BitConnect, as long as they know they're trading a scam and as long as they don't actively promote that scam.
Exactly. I would never even trade BitConnect. Once I know it's a scam, I'm not going to trade that. That's like, well, except maybe XRP, I guess.
Well, do you think XRP is a scam?
Well, I would call it a scam anymore. Do you call the Federal Reserve a scam?
I think I used to when I was in my when I started listening to too many gloom and doomers. I no longer I don't think the Federal Reserve is a scam.
It is a scam. It is, because you are like, wait a second, Tone, if you could print money, wouldn't that be fraudulent?
Well,
and whether or not it was legal or not, it's still fraudulent.
It's
right?
It's a little different than that. It's a little more complicated than that. It's not great, but at the same time, that is the functional global understanding of economics for the last 100 years. Now, we can debate how functional it is, but at the same time, the question that I give people is, how do you know we would have internet today if it wasn't for the creation of the Federal Reserve? And the answer is you don't.
Okay, that's like saying that the Ponzi, the person who invented a Ponzi, if you just happen to get everybody involved, and it's just the global macro economics of today. So it works because, you know what, he created the Ponzi way back then, and it continues to function today. It's still a Ponzi. It's still a scam. It's still going to collapse. There's no end.
Okay, fine. You won me over. You won the argument. So this is exactly what I say about Ethereum.
Right. So no matter what, yeah, exactly. Ethereum, I agree with that, because the way Ethereum, when I first saw Ethereum, I was like, yeah, that's cool. But the problem was, do you know that with a little bit of work, I can write what's it called? Long-term capital management on Ethereum, the whole thing that long-term capital management did on Ethereum, and do it all over again. And they'd have to bail us all out, or else everybody would collapse, right? And lose money. And they would. And they even proved it with the DAO. So eventually somebody's going to do it. Somebody unethical is going to do it on Ethereum, right? Because it can be done.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. So the other thing that you said is, if you know something is an outright scam like BitConnect, you wouldn't trade it. And that's one of the reasons why I never trade altcoins, because to me, they're all scams, including Dash and Ethereum and Ripple. And that's why no matter how good a potential trading opportunity is, because in the back of my mind, I know it's a scam and it can go to zero the way BitConnect went to zero overnight. I also know that it can pump the way Dash pumped from like $20 to $1,000. That's the reason why I stay away from the altcoin space, because I know how they're fundamentally unsound, and any one of them can go to zero at any moment. It's the same reason why I never was interested in trading penny stocks on the pink sheets.
I understand that. I mean, here's the thing, right? You could say they're a scam, but there are people who generally believe that their coin will be better than Bitcoin.
Oh,
and
of course.
Developers are generally working on that assumption. And the fact that they will not do it doesn't make them a scam. Do you understand? It just makes it like a bad
project
proposition.
I agree. A lot of these things, I am calling them a scam because I know for a fact these projects will go nowhere. But there are developers working on them that just don't understand that. And at the end of the day, they're like, "Oh, we tried, it failed, it didn't work."
Yeah, and that's what's probably going to happen with most of the coins, right?
Okay. Any other charts you want to show, or I'll throw on my charts real quick.
Throw on your charts. Actually, I would like to see what you're thinking with Bitcoin.
And then we're gonna call it a day. Hey, thanks for coming on the show, man. I know it's a little. Oh yeah, I was curious why you were in Dash News. I just randomly Googled that. You want to tell us real quick about this? Because I didn't look at the article or the video.
I don't know. They picked me up because like I like Dash. That's probably why I was on Dash News, right? And
are you holding any Dash at the moment?
Yes, I have lots of Dash.
Okay, are you running master nodes?
I don't have enough for a master nodes because I don't go over a large percent. I don't go into a large percent in any one coin at all.
So how many altcoins are you holding? Like approximately, like do you hold 20 altcoins, 50 altcoins, like that are worth more than, say, I don't know. Like actually, I don't even know what the metric to use. But okay, how many altcoins are you currently holding that you expect to rise in value?
I have over 300. I had over 300, and I've started to reduce my positions on the shit coins because they're getting like dropping off like flies. So I reduced any of the ones that are in the really low market cap category, anything, and I'm trying to reduce. I'm just reducing anything to keeping only the ones that are over like around 100 million market cap or higher is the ones I'm going to hold for now through the this bear market into the next cycle. So, and then in the next cycle, I think we're going to start the next cycle very, very soon because we're going through a cleansing.
You think an altcoin pump's coming?
Eventually, I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything like 2017, right? But we're going to see like a lot of ranging, right? Where it comes up and comes back right back down, goes up and then comes right back down, right? We're going to see a lot of that. And so you're going to see probably a lot of that happen in Dash, right? Where it goes back up and then comes right back down to near the bottom and then go back up and right back down. You're going to see a lot of that.
Okay, so one more question. In your market cap, right? So what percentage, let's say you hold X amount of money across all of your crypto, what percentage of that is in Bitcoin versus shitcoins?
Right now, about 50% in Bitcoins.
And 50% in shitcoins?
Yes.
Okay, got it. And so let me jump straight to Bitcoin dominance chart. Do you think Bitcoin dominance will continue to rise above 80? Or do you think we are topping here and Bitcoin dominance is going to start to go down back to 60?
Honestly, anything can happen, but I would be betting that Bitcoin come back all the way back to where it was before all the 2017 mania.
So you're looking at Bitcoin dominance to go down towards 30%.
No. You're misunderstanding me. I'm thinking it's going to go back up to where it started before the altcoin mania in 2017.
Oh, so you're thinking it's going to go all the way up to it was 95 before in early 2017.
Yeah.
So if you think that's going to happen, why are you holding 50% in the shitcoins?
Because during that time, there are going to be certain coins that pumps and certain coins that go dumps. And I'm going to try to profit on the ones that do. I mean, I'm just going to go through a method that I know that works and did very well for me and continue with that. Yeah, there's a possibility, the high probability that Bitcoin's market cap dominance goes to 95%. But I'm going to write it down.
but you do see how the odds are against you, right? Like if Bitcoin dominance is going to go from, like, the altcoins just got decimated in the last 3 months because Bitcoin dominance went from 55 to 70. If Bitcoin dominance goes from 70 to 95, out of your 300 shitcoins, maybe 2 may somehow pump, and I even doubt it. Like, you do see how the odds are insanely against you, right? You should only do what you're doing if you're expecting Bitcoin dominance to now start to go down.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm thinking, man, you should just start dumping all this stuff, right? And wait until it gets back to 95%. But the thing is, right, it's already too late for me to dump out, right? It's too little, too late. I should have done it way before.
All right. I'm going to jump over to the Bitcoin charts real quick. We're going to go straight to the weekly. Nothing's changed, guys. I've been doing these videos every day. And the weekly chart is holding above 10,000. I may have the same title for this video. You know, how long can Bitcoin hold 10,000? I could be doing the same title for like the next 3 weeks. So we have no idea. I am totally neutral based on the weekly time level. Nothing is changing on a daily time level. I'm actually fully in line with what Davinci described with these triangles. I've had these triangles drawn for probably about a week now, and I have 2 of them, the smaller one and the bigger one. I don't know if we're going to break down from the smaller one. It's possible we can break, ideally in a perfect world, we break down from the smaller one, find support around 95, 9,600, come back up to the $10,500 area, and then eventually break down out of this triangle in early October. This is similar to what you described, Davinci. You have anything else to add?
No, I mean, you just got to be careful because this could break the other way, where you'd have to set your, I mean, this is a huge range. I mean, if you look at this range, the effective, we'd have to say the breakout would be at the local high of nearly 14,000 to really say, okay, well, this is going the other way. Right? And so that's a long, long way from here. And so it's most likely going to head back down because that's the easiest path, right? Don't you think?
No, absolutely. 12-hour chart, not very useful. We are pretty range bound. The 4-hour chart, I have this downward channel. Again, not much interesting going on a 4-hour chart. I can start to zoom in and check the indicators inside. And nope, nothing interesting going on here. And this is the 15-minute time frame. Oh man, Joe Saz must have loved it earlier this morning. This is the 15-minute time frame, and I'm on UTC time, so this is 1 p.m. minus, I think, 4 hours or 5 hours. Definitely this morning, Joe Saz must have loved this 9. He loves trading the TD sequential on the 15-minute chart. He would have had several opportunities, including a sell here and potentially a buy here if you jump in early enough on the candle. May or may not have been a losing trade. He loves this indicator on the 15. What do you think of total market cap then, right? Do you think that total market cap, because remember, if you think Bitcoin is going to go back up to its all-time high dominance, it really depends on how fast the shitcoins are dropping against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin going to all-time high in dominance is independent of the total market cap across all shitcoins. So do you think that do you think that Bitcoin, the total market cap, could approach, going pull back some more, where overall the entire crypto space is losing value? Or do you think that all the shitcoins have bottomed, or everything has pretty much bottomed, and now everything is going to start to go back up, but Bitcoin is going to be going up a little bit faster to gain that Bitcoin dominance, but the total market cap would also rise? So what is your view of the total market cap?
Well, here's the thing, right? A lot of the market cap calculations don't include what's called volume. So of trades during the day, some of these coins have zero volume in a day, and sometimes in a week. And so, and yet they're included in the market cap calculations. So they should be effectively excluded. And if they are excluded, the Bitcoin dominance is 90%.
I don't think so, because like Ethereum alone is like 20% of Bitcoin's dominance, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look at that. But I'm talking about based on volume alone, based on volume, and you take out.
But my view is this total market cap value, like 98% of this thing is the top 100 coins. Like it's really not like that illiquid crap. I don't think it affects it at all, right? Because if we, it's probably not the best site, but if we look at coin market cap, and I know it's like a horrible website, but it's like the one that shows up because I can't remember the names of their competitors. Like Ethereum alone, right? So Bitcoin is 180, and Ethereum's 20. So Ethereum is, let's say 20 out of 200. So Ethereum is over 10%. Like Ethereum alone is like 15%. XRP, which I know is bullshit, but
I know that's crap.
Right. So XRP adds an additional 7%, and then what do you think of Bcash?
Yeah, well, you know what? It looks like Ethereum might save the day on Bcash if they actually implement the usage of the Bitcoin Cash's block size with Ethereum.
Do you think that's a smart idea for Ethereum to scale using Bcash?
I'm not going to judge that because I've not looked deeply at the source code of Ethereum. So I'm not a good judge of that until I would look at the source code and say, okay, yeah, maybe.
So you think Tether is obviously a scam too then, right? Based on your statement to the Federal Reserve?
Obviously. I mean, come on. There's what we know. Here's what we know. We know that they're only 75% backed. Okay. And that for most of your viewers, you're like, oh, that's good enough, right? Hold on. Did you also know 318 addresses own 80% of the Tether? So that's not you. And do you think that they're going to cover those people before they cover you? Yes, they will. So keep that in mind.
All right, well said. I know you like Dash. Anything else in this top 20? Any of these other coins that you like and you think will be, good investments for the future?
I would say I noticed that somebody mentioned that Cardano is a scam, but Cardano has a lot of smart people behind it. But you know what? Just because you got to throw a bunch of smart people behind the technology doesn't mean you produce something good. But it's something to keep an eye out and see what happens there. But we have to wait and see. I think we will. I really think that Cardano in the next run, whether or not they actually produce anything, will do well, just as long as it stays alive.
Well, yeah, we will all find out. All right, real quick, I want to, well, nothing is really going on in this, in the altcoin space. Ethereum still looks like it's not ready to reverse. My metrics are telling me it should go lower. Litecoin, same. It broke this very critical line. If you were to trade Litecoin, what are you thinking on this is the weekly chart of Litecoin as it breaks this double bottom. Do you think Litecoin can still pump now that it's had its halving?
My hands are on my head like, oh my God, that looks like a disaster. looks like it's going to collapse into oblivion.
Oh, couldn't agree more. And this is Bcash. That's also kind of stuck, not doing anything. But if you look back at the history of their chart, they're basically at flirting with the all-time low.
Yeah. So you know what? It looks like we are going to go back to that 95% dominance with Bitcoin.
I agree. So definitely good luck with your 300 shitcoins.
Yeah. Just wish me luck, man. Maybe it turns around and I get lucky and it turns, but it doesn't look like it.
All right, so we have gold that is kind of stuck at the top. The S&P was faltering this morning. This is not XR. Why did I do that? When did I screw this up? Oh man, what happened to my ES chart? That's Uber. It's not looking good at all. But I need the ES mini. There we go. So, the market rebounded. It looked like it was going bad in the morning, but the market is staying within this weird shape that I've drawn. And this should be SPX.
Yeah. Well, the money printing I want to short the market, the regular market, but with the Fed,
everybody wants to short. Everyone always wants to short the market, but they seem to forget that the government has the ability to legally print money, and they're incentivized to make the market go up and up and up and up.
Exactly. And so I'm really scared of the Fed.
All right. Nothing that interesting is going on in the market. I think it's finding some support, and we could go higher. All right. Davinci, tell us, let's close out. Tell us, I'm going to have screen share on your davincicode.net, and close out by telling us what you're working on. What are your goals for the rest of 2019?
Well, we have this software called Pandora's Wallet, and basically it's a software that allows you to trade altcoins on the exchanges without leaving the money on the exchanges, which I have been doing for quite some time now. That's of course dangerous, and because they could just close up shop or get hacked, and you could lose a lot of money. I've already lost in the Cryptopia $50,000, but it's not going to kill me, but still, it's a lot. I would rather have that 50K, right? And so I built this software just for that, and I'm currently selling that software. If you're interested in buying, it's available at www.pandoraswallet.com. And also, I have a YouTube channel, Davinci J15. If you're interested in discussions of hard money and so forth, and anything that comes to my mind, I want to talk about. I basically come on my YouTube channel and start discussing it. Also, my Twitter channel is Davinci J15, and you can find me anywhere just by looking at Davinci J, looking for Davinci J15. I have an Instagram, but I'm not really that active. I'm on the the Telegram, but I have like over 1,000 people requesting information, asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about this shitcoin? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? When should I buy? All kinds of questions. I just cannot keep up. I just can't. I want to answer everybody's questions, but I can't. I'm so sorry. Right. And that's why I missed a lot of your Telegram messages.
Oh yeah, no, that's all good. I know how to get a hold of you. So thanks for that. And so you really do think that spending your resources, time, and money to build an altcoin wallet is going to be the future?
Not long term, if you ask me, but I think the next pump, people are going to want this because it's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it's going to happen because there's going to be people who come into this space for the first time. They're going to look at Bitcoin at 100K and go, I can't afford that, but I can afford this Cardano crap for $1. Right? So that's the way it is. That's the way it is. We're not going to stop it. I don't have to promote any coins, any of those altcoins. I don't have to say a thing. People are going to buy them.
Oh yeah, and they can buy them a lot easier now that you're building a safe wallet for them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I'm building a wallet to protect them from the exchanges, but not from their stupidity.
All right. All right, guys. Hey, if you like this episode, come on back to the channel, check it out. You can also go over to tonebase.com. I have an upcoming conference coming up called The Financial Summit. I'm sure you guys are all sick of hearing about it. And however, I will do it again. People are signing up, so we're going to have a hell of a time. It is only open to about 30 people. It's going to be small. It's going to be intimate, so everybody gets to know each other. And it's focused on traders with potentially profitable trading strategies looking for capital. And then I'm hoping to bring in some hedge funds and algorithmic funds to provide that capital. And we're also looking for developers that know how to program trading strategies that could potentially meet a trader that may not want to sell their strategy to a hedge fund. The trader may not need additional capital, but that trader may be looking to meet a developer who they can partner up with and build something to automate some of their strategies. That's the goal. There will be an educational component if you are coming to learn from some of the other traders that are here. I have gotten good word from a lot of these guys like Socrates, like Ugly Old Goat, Van Zen, that they are willing to teach you some of their methods, if not most of their methods, because we'll have a lot of time. This is 6 days at a very, very fancy resort in Bali. That is basically the plan. Check out the travel schedule. Of course, you have the affiliate section on my calendar. You can check out the places I'm going to next. I actually can't wait for the month to flip over so that because there's nothing else happening in August. My next travel schedule is at the Black Blockchain Summit in DC, followed by Bitcoin Honey Badger in Latvia. I'll be in Prague for Hackers Congress, and then a bunch of stuff going on in October as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And Davinci, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being a good sport. I was a little bit trollish there, but you and I have met before. It's all in good fun. And am I going to see you on the next cruise, man?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I'll join you in Bali because that looks fun.
All right. Hey, if you want to come, registration is still open until we fill it out. And it will be fun, definitely. And it's I can't wait. Yeah, like this is why it's a high-end resort. Like you get an hour massage every day with your all-inclusive room, man. It'll be a hell of a time, assuming there's time for that, because it's gonna be fun meeting other traders and funds. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.